Can we not force from widowed poetry? Now thou art dead, great Donne, one elegy to crown thy hearse. Why yet dare we not trust, though with uncnated dough-backed prose thy dust, such as th' uncissored churchman from the flower of fading rhetoric, short-lived as his hour, dry as the sand that measures it, should lay upon thy ashes on the funeral day. Have we no voice, no tune didst thou dispense through all our language, both the words and sense? 'Tis a sad truth the pulpit may her plain, and sober Christian precepts still retain. Doctrines it may, and wholesome uses frame, grave homilies and lectures, but the flame of thy brave soul
that shot such heat and light
has burnt our earth, made our darkness bright, committed holy rapes upon our will, did through the eye the melting heart distill, and the deep knowledge of dark truths so teach, a sense might judge what fancy could not reach. Must be desert forever, so the fire that fills with spirit and heat the Delphic choir, which kindled first by thy Promethean breath, glowed here a while, lies quenched now in thy death. The muse's garden with pedantic weeds o'erspread was purged by thee, the lazy seeds of servile imitation thrown away, and fresh invention planted thou didst pay. The debts of our penurious bankrupt age, licentious thefts that make poetic rage a mimic fury, when our souls must be possessed, or with Anacreon's ecstasy, or Pindar's not their own, the subtle cheat of sly exchanges, and the juggling feed of two-edged words, or whatsoever wrong by ours was done, the Greek or Latin tongue. Thou hast redeemed and opened us a mine of rich and pregnant fancy, drawn a line of masculine expression, which had good old Orpheus seen, or all the ancient brood our superstitious fools admire and hold their lead more precious than thy burnished gold. Thou hadst been their exchequer, and no more they each another's dust had raked for ore. Thou shalt yield no precedence but of time, and the blind fate of language, whose tune chime more charms the outward sense, yet thou mayst claim from so great disadvantage greater fame, since to the awe of thy imperious wit our stubborn language bends, made only fit with her tough thick-ribbed hoops to gird about thy giant fancy, which had proved too stout for their soft-melting phrases. As in time they had the start, so did they cull the prime buds of invention many 100 year, and left the rifled fields besides the fear to touch their harvest. Yet from those bare lands of what is purely thine, thy only hands that thy smallest work have gleaned more than all those times and tongues could reap before. But thou art gone, and thy strict laws will be too hard for libertines in poetry. They will repeal the goodly exiled train of gods and goddesses, which in thy just reign were banished. Nobler poems now with these, the silenced tales of metamorphosis, shall stuff their lines and swell the windy page, till verse refined by thee in this last age turn ballad rhyme, or those old idols be adored again with new apostasy. Or pardon me that break with unturned verse the reverent silence that attends thy hearse, whose awful solemn murmurs were to thee more than these faint lines, a loud elegy that did proclaim in a dumb eloquence the death of all the arts, whose influence, grown feeble in these panting numbers, lies gasping short-winded accents, and so dies. So doth the swiftly turning wheel not stand? An instant we withdraw the moving hand, but some small time maintain a faint weak course by virtue of the first impulsive force. And so whilst I cast on thy funeral pile thy crown of bays, oh, let it crack a while and spit disdain, till the devouring flashes suck all the moisture up, then turn to ashes. I will not draw the envy to engross all thy perfections, or weep all our loss. Those are too numerous for an elegy, and this too great to be expressed by me. Though every pen should share a distinct part, yet art thou theme enough to tire all art. Let others carve the rest, it shall suffice. I on thy tomb this epitaph incise: Here lies a king that ruled as he thought fit, the universal monarchy of wit. Here lie two flamens, and both those the best, Apollo's first at last, the true God's priest.